James was always behind me, as it were, on the walk down, and it's fabulous. Anyway, people say, what did you talk to James about when you were standing up there on the ramp? We used to talk about these.
Carrots, yeah. Because everybody else was getting psyched up because the other athletes on the show, they're all in the zone. Like, how's your veg doing then?
Yeah, how the acres? I know how the acres of carrots do.
Yeah, and that's what, just before we walked out on stage. But,
And you lost a lot of weight during that, didn't you?
4 stone in 6 weeks.
No.
Wow.
4 stone?
Put it all back on again. Don't worry about it.
That's what I love about you, though. You have your butter, you don't care, do you?
Well, I like what I like, and the butter and the cream. I feel it's important to have yin and yang, and there's all these health food cookbooks, which is great. It's fine if you want to eat wheatgrass for the rest of your life. Lovely, munch on as much as you want.
I loved it when the report came out recently that butter is better than margarine or something like that. I thought James Martin will be so happy.
Yeah, to me, it's all about flavour. Food should taste great, and you should have whatever you want, really.
And if you take all that great stuff out of it, it just doesn't take that. For me, diety food just doesn't taste of anything, you know.
Well, we're here for such a short space of time, you know, and just enjoy it while you're here.
So, what do you think of what Mary Berry said, that fat cooks shouldn't be on telly?
But my James,
I've seen her in a bar.
Fat.
She drinks like a fish. Only joking, only joking.
I think a bit of a meat on a man shows he likes
In
his
fairness,
dinner.
what she actually said was that fat people shouldn't eat cake, I think, because she was saying that if you're fat and you're constantly eating cake on telly, people will go, I'm not going to eat cake because it will make me fat.
I mean, somebody said it just back there. He said, you know, and it's what often I get people say when they meet you for the first time, and somebody on the back row over there turned around and said exactly the same thing. He doesn't look as fat as he does on TV. That's just the normal thing.
It's amazing how many times people will say that.
I said, take it off widescreen and put it on normal.
With your new book, it's all about sweets.
Yes.
And I had a good skim through it, actually, at the weekend. What I loved in particular was the rum babas and also the meringue-topped strawberry cakes.
Yeah,
I thought they were lovely.
It's been 10 years since my last dessert book, and this is to celebrate 20 years in the business. 20 years I've been doing this television.
Wow.
Yeah, you don't need to applaud. I'm not performing Seal or anything. It's not.
Why is it that we use caster sugar in meringue and then we have to beat it and beat it until it dissolves? Why don't we use icing sugar?
You can use a combination of both, but you can use a mixture of both, and that's the best for pavlova. So you get a combination of icing sugar and caster sugar, and that makes you the sticky meringue with everything else.
To do that, but I've never seen it in a book because it makes sense.
You're buying the wrong books, you see.
To me, sounds really unappealing, though. Is monkey bread? What's
monkey bread's amazing. Well, I learned that when I was filming over in the States, and I was staying with these 2 guys who were a married couple to each other, and I stayed an extra 3 days when the film crew had gone, because I just loved what they did. They had this little bake shop in Dumbo, just outside of Manhattan, and this was one of the desserts they put on the counter and sold it 50 cents per ball. Whoa. And it's a donut dough, so instead of a donut you deep fry, the donut is soaked in melted butter, rolled in sugar and cinnamon, and then put in a mould, let to prove, and then baked, and then a bottle of maple syrup poured over the top. Proper nice, yeah.